Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the XP Lounge podcast. I'm Zach. This is Kai, aka Hardcore Buzzman and Hardcore Pelican. Kai, say hey.
What's up? What's up? How's it going, everyone? Sorry we missed last week, but we're back.
We're back. Yeah. We missed 2 weeks, I think it was.
Yeah, actually, I think it was 2 weeks.
I had full intentions of recording last week, but my schedule in Vegas was just crazy, and my internet wasn't working on my laptop for some reason. So I couldn't even record my podcast with Sully last week either. So
That's all
kind of
good.
sucks. But we're back. We got a smaller episode. We don't really have a lot to talk about tonight, but yeah. Thanks all for tuning in. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, make suggestions as you will for the upcoming podcasts. And then every comment that you guys leave, we'll read it, we'll respond to you guys, or we'll address it here in the
Oh, Zach,
podcast the following week.
not to interrupt you, I kind of forgot. I know that you think this is going to be like a little bit of a shorter episode, but I did watch something today that went over the 50 promotional in-game items that you can earn for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. There's like
Okay.
so many different companies that are offering different promotions. We don't have to go over all of it. I was just saying, like, if you want to, go into some stuff deep, there's like some juicy stuff to talk about,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
especially with Call of Duty,
Yeah. So that's going to be one of our big talking points today. But
like the $350 weapon camo.
the what?
So they are offering a one in half scale. It's a one in how's it? It's just a half scale replica of the Wonder Waffle that you can go into the Call of Duty shop and buy.
Okay.
But if you buy it and you pre-order it, which is $350, and remember tax and shipping is probably going to bump that up to 400, you get a in-game code for a special weapon camo that only comes with that replica. If you buy that replica,
What the fuck?
so it is essential. They've done this before, but they've never priced any of their items at $350. So
That's
this is
insane.
it's a $350 exclusive camo.
Okay, well, we'll have to look that up and see. Did they already release what it looks like?
Yeah, well, so I don't know. I don't think we know what it looks like in game yet, but I can show
Okay,
you like what the picture's supposed to show you.
okay. Yeah, all right. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. That's going to be
I didn't mean to. I
pissing
didn't
me
mean to cut
off.
you off.
No, it's fine. It's just going to piss me off because I'm not spending $350 on a game that I could just get on Game Pass. So,
It's not even a game. It's you're getting a replica
well,
of
yeah,
the.
yeah. Wait, so that $350 isn't even for the game?
Well, the camos for the game, but the Wonder Waffle is like a real. You buy something that's a real life replica. Like it'll come
But do
in,
you get
and
the
you put.
game with that bundle? Like, do you get a copy of the game in that bundle, or just the Wonder
No,
Waffle? That's
no. So
ridiculous.
if you didn't own the game, you would just get a camo you couldn't use.
That's unbelievable. I wonder how many people are going to make that mistake, thinking they're buying the game.
Let me see if I can. I didn't mean to completely throw our podcast off track. I was just like, there's some. I know there's some stuff to talk about, so I
No,
had to
that's all
think
right.
about it for a second. And definitely stuff like this will get you riled up. Let me
Oh
show you.
yeah, will. Yeah, will. So while you're pulling
Let me
that
see.
up, I'll keep going here. But
Go
uh,
ahead. Yeah.
feel free, guys, to join the Discord. We'll pop the link in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. Y'all can watch us record this live every Wednesday night, so you can all have hear this conversation take place in real time. Let me pull up your video here, Kai. Sorry, I'm also working one-handed tonight. I dislocated my shoulder playing softball last week in Las Vegas, so bear with me here. All right, Kai, we pulled it up. Let's see here. What do we got?
So this is the Wonder Waffle that you get for $350, which I mean it's cool. It's not bad. I still feel like for $350, I better be getting a full size replica with real metal parts. This is all, I'm pretty sure, ABS plastic. It's ABS, plastic, PVC, and rubber. So you're not even getting anything metal in this. Um, Weighs 3 pounds. It's a half scale. And let's see, open tab. Here is the camo that you get. It's
Interesting.
called Gold Lightning or Lightning Gold.
Interesting.
And it only comes, so let me turn this up so you can read it. It only comes with this if you buy this. And like I said, they've done this before. They had a thing going on in the shop last year that if you spent over $100 in the Call of Duty shop, you got an exclusive camo only. Or it was either $100 or you had to buy. I think it was a fanny pack. It was a Call of Duty fanny pack, and you'd get a camo.
Interesting.
They also,
I don't like that. That pisses me off.
yeah, I don't like it either. This was one of the other ones that they released. not trying to use Bing. So this camo right here, oh, that's a well, it's not that bad. This camo right here was a camo that they had that if you spent over $100, I'm pretty sure in the Call of Duty shop, you would get it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's called Gold Cheetah. And it's also, by the way, this is a reprint of a of a camo that they've already put out.
What the fuck, dude?
Let me see.
If anybody from Blizzard or Microsoft or anybody's listening to this fucking podcast, fix your shit. That's ridiculous. Right. Make original content.
Right. And so, okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was a $60 bag, and here it is. It's a Task Force 141 bag, and you would get that camo in game. Can you see that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff like that on their website to try and incent people to buy stuff, because I'm sure it's probably a hard time selling merch. And well, I don't know, it's Call of Duty. I would imagine it's probably not that hard to sell merch, but they're still putting camos in with certain things you can buy.
Well, when your bag costs $60, yeah, it's probably going to be a little hard to sell merch.
Yeah, that's true too. Because I'll tell you what, no fanny pack should be $60 unless they're 20 or 30 of that is for the fucking camo. Excuse my language.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But I had to show you that. I apologize.
No, you're good. Ridiculous, in my opinion.
It is
absolutely ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
So, with Call of Duty coming out, well, today. So today, podcast releasing on Friday.
Yeah.
The 25th. What do you think is going to change from how they released weapons and camos into Black Ops from the original 3 Modern Warfares?
So I would imagine that the MW3 camos were probably the easiest to grind for. It was the first time I had ever gotten like a prestige or like mastery camo with the Interstellar, and I probably wouldn't have gotten that if they didn't make it so easy. Knowing how Treyarch is and how they like to challenge their players, I mean, we're going back to an old school prestige system. We're going back to round-based zombies. They're doing a whole bunch of things that are giving us kind of the feeling of an old school Call of Duty again. And we remember anything about old school Call of Duty, it was prestiging, was grinding like a mother trucker.
Yeah.
It was not. I remember. I think I prestiged once or twice in Call of Duty 4, and that was it. And there was people that had prestiged 10 times, like gone through the levels 10 times over and over and over again. That is insane to me. So with them bringing that back and them already showing that if you prestige once or you hit the second prestige, there's going to be rewards per prestige. I didn't mean to stop sharing my screen. I actually should go live again. They started to preview some of the prestige rewards in Black Ops 6, and some of them are pretty cool. Like you get I think you can get an operator skin every prestige. Let's see here. Might be one of those things that I saw on Twitter. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so prestige 1, look, you get like a zombie skin.
Okay.
You'll get and these are the different prestiges that you hit. You get a zombie skin, you'll get a charm, you'll get emblems, you'll get calling cards. I would imagine hitting some of these prestiges, you'll probably unlock certain camos as well.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to scroll down to an ad. I definitely think that earning camos in this game, and I could be completely wrong about this, is going to be a lot more challenging and difficult than MW3. We'll see, though. I mean, the game comes out Friday or the day that this releases. Granted, I doubt I'll be hitting Prestige 1 that weekend, but we'll see how it goes. I definitely think it's going to be a lot more grindy and a lot more like you have to put your time into it. But I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong.
I like to see that because I feel like that makes it a little more challenging. And when you hit something like a certain threshold of trying to get a camo, it's more rewarding.
It feels more rewarding, yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a fun time with the MW3 camos, and it still felt rewarding. But I would imagine if it's something extremely difficult to get, and you end up working your ass off and getting it, it's gonna feel 10 times better than like getting Interstellar.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
We'll see.
We yeah.
So, what do you think about? I think we talked about this a couple of times now that the game is out or going to be out today. What do you think about Omni movement? How do you think that's going to impact gameplay and stuff?
Uh, to be fair, Call of Duty players have always been cracked, and even if the game had horrible movement, they found a way to make themselves some slippery little sneaky snakes. And
Yeah.
so I definitely think Omni movement is going to be fun and help the players. But as far as like, is it really going to be game changing? Possibly. There's a few things in Omni movement that could potentially be released in future Call of Duties and completely change the way that Call of Duty feels. But I think it's a really awesome system that they made, and I'm very glad that they added it into the game. Whether that substitutes you buying the game, like them promoting, it's got this new Omni movement system, it's a brand new, all this stuff. I don't know if it's worth it in that sense. I don't know if you can sell a game completely on a whole new mechanic, especially since these games are pretty much copycats of the previous game. I mean, this is Call of Duty we're talking about. They put out a Call of Duty every year, every 2 years. So all the games are going to essentially feel the same. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit more drastic of a change. While the
Okay.
Omni movement system is, I think it's important. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more as far as showing different mechanical systems in the game, how things work. I do think the hostage or grabbing people from behind is a cool mechanic. I definitely think that might be game changing. Would love to see how that affects Warzone if they bring that in. But
That would be cool to see in Warzone, actually. Kind of
yeah, especially
like a longevity team mark or something like that. I think they can tie that in.
yeah. Well, I mean, I this is maybe a bad uh, example to give, but imagine you're it's a 4v4. You know, one team versus another team, and
Right.
one of your teammates or the other teammates happens to be by the other team. They can grab that guy, walk with him out, and hold him as like a human shield, and like, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot your buddy, especially if it's Warzone? It's not multiplayer. He's not just going to respond back. Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's going to
Yeah.
take those situations and make them so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get your hands and grab that guy. If you can really get him and you know start start showing them who the big dog is. You know what I
Oh
mean? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Showing them the
So
big dog.
yeah. So
Stupid.
you're throwing this podcast off the red. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but I definitely. I mean, it's some good stuff. It's Call of Duty, man. Like, there's only so much that these devs can throw into a 2 year development cycle or a three, even a 4 year development cycle. That's is it really going to revolutionize the game? Probably not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to take some. It's going to be a while before they add something that's going to be breathtaking and completely changes the way that Call of Duty feels. But I like Treyarch. I've liked what they've done in the past. Granted, haven't been the biggest fan. Like, I would say I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Black Ops 2 and the rest of the Black Ops series, but I hold the first one so dear to my heart, as well as World of War, since that's technically a prequel to Black Ops, that
Yeah.
it's hard for me not to want to get excited about this game. It could be complete trash, and I'm still going to get excited for it because that hype for the Black Ops franchise for me is real. I
I
mean,
mean,
so is for
I
the
think the campaign is always a good, regardless of how multiplayer. I think you have two good positive outlooks of this game releasing. One, you have a great campaign, which is just it's always good.
yeah,
And two is what it's finally gonna bring to Warzone. When Black
yeah,
Ops Cold War released, it brought some decent weapons into the game, but they didn't last long. So this time around, not only are you going to get an extra load of weapons, but you're also going to get additional movement. Omni movement is coming in, and the potential to take hostages in Warzone is something that I'm excited for. And
very
seeing
excited.
that,
Yeah,
and seeing that in a new game that's not a modern warfare game is pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, maybe it's just because they released MW3 so close to MW2. It just feels like they were kind of starting to milk the MW franchise, and it
Yeah,
didn't feel as genuine or as real as it did, especially when they released MW 2019. Um, I don't know. I mean, they don't do that a lot with the Black Ops games. I feel like the Black Ops games. There was a certain point in time where they were doing that with the Black Ops games, specifically from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 4. It felt like Call of Duty knew that Black Ops was their most successful selling franchise at that time, so they just milked it. I mean, they put out Black Ops 4 without a campaign. That to me
Yeah.
is insane,
Yeah.
especially for a Call of Duty game. That's always been one of the flagship or one of the selling points for their flagship game is
Yeah.
a great campaign. So
Hmm.
the fact that they released a game and tried to call it a full-on game and charge you a $60 price or $70 price point for a game with no campaign, it really did show you that they were really kind of milking that at a certain point. And so I'm glad they kind of backed off Black Ops, but it's evident that they're now kind of milking MW, which is sad, but it's Call of Duty. You know, it's this is something that's going to be milked by by Activision until they sell the rights or until they sell but yeah, the rights to the game
Yeah.
essentially. You know,
Right.
like they're gonna just milk the crap out of it.
And we saw how well that didn't work for another game that we were hoping for with a big campaign that didn't release with one because it was really confusing. And that was Battlefield 2042.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah.
seeing a game of that caliber from a big developer with no campaign, with weird little like backstories to characters, but no campaign to see them in was really confusing and weird.
It was odd that they gave so many characters backstories and that they would flesh them out through like the title cards that you could earn in that game. Like you
Yeah.
would earn a title card and then it would give you a big long description
Yeah.
about a couple of the operators or like a story that was told through there. And that was it.
Yep.
We didn't get anything as far. I think the closest thing that we would have gotten to maybe story was DMZ mode. Not DMZ, I'm sorry, it wasn't called that. What was it called again?
Um, what was it
It
called?
was it, it was that extraction shooter
Yeah,
mode.
I remember it. Yeah. DMZ was
Um
Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was Call of Duty. That had some story elements into it, but after they realized the player base on that died pretty quickly, they stopped supporting that. They really didn't do anything more for that game mode, which is kind of a shame because I there was a few moments where I had fun on that. And you could kind of make the argument that the last two previous battle games before 2042, both Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1, didn't have campaigns, but they kind of did through war stories. Yeah, you were
A
playing
little bit, yeah.
essentially. Yeah, you would play essentially like a really long mission. It would basically be like three missions compiled into one, and that would be the story of that character, and you would play through it, and then you would go to the next character that they would give you, and you would play through a really long mission that would tell their story. And while that's not a traditional campaign, at least we were getting something as far as single player um, content. You know, there are people out there who don't like multiplayer. They don't want to play
Right.
multiplayer. They just want to play a single player campaign or game and sit back on the couch and relax, even if it's Call of Duty or Halo. So, you know, it
Yeah.
the fact that they didn't release any sort of campaign for 2042, not even war stories or anything, it definitely makes you feel like you're not getting your money's worth out of it, especially when other games that are that price point are delivering fucking, excuse my language again, but like 2 to 3 times more content than what they have to offer. And they're going to sit there and charge $70 for a AAA game when it has literally less content than
Yeah.
these games. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's just permission to play multiplayer, essentially. Which
Yeah.
that should be $40.
I think exactly. Yeah. If I mean honestly, we're seeing it nowadays. It should just be free to play. You want to charge for cosmetics and all that junk, and go ahead. But most multiplayer games that are free to play are doing just fine because people
Yep.
are willing. If it's a good game that has good mechanics and
Yep.
people enjoy it, they will get on that thing and pay for all the cosmetics and all the stupid things in the world.
Look at War Thunder. That's a game that's free to
Yeah,
play. That's a game that I was going to talk about towards the end of the podcast that we both picked up that I think is super fun. It's free
it's
to play.
fun.
It is free to
It's
play.
fun and makes me reluctant to play it with how much grinding it is. I was playing it today,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed like the gameplay and the mechanics and like everything that they did with that game. But then I was watching videos because I thought I had downloaded it. If you're an Xbox Game Pass member, you get perks every month. They'll usually switch up the perks and give you different perks. Well, I remember specifically in the past, even though we hadn't been playing War Thunder, they gave out a War Thunder pack, and I thought I had downloaded it, but I apparently had not. Well, I went into the store and checked that pack. Most of the vehicles that they give you in that pack are starter vehicles. They're
Yeah.
good vehicles, but they're not like extraordinary by any sense. I think the only
Right.
good thing out of that entire thing is a plane. Guess how much that pack is?
Like $60 probably.
Close, 44.99.
Yeah. It's insane.
And yeah, They have options in that game to where you can rent vehicles, which to me is just, you're blowing my mind there with
Yeah.
thinking that people are gonna, actually go for that. Excuse me. But yeah, like it's I don't get that type of mentality. I mean, I'm sure it works. I'm sure, we're not on the financial side of War Thunder, and we're not seeing like the numbers roll in, but I can't imagine that that is going to be sustainable for a very long time.
You never know,
That's
dude. It's a
probably
pretty big game. It's a pretty big
well, no,
thing.
that's probably why the game is free to play, because if you had
Right.
to buy the game on top of renting car or like not
Yeah.
cars,
Yeah.
tanks and planes, people would be fucking ballistic. That's
Yeah.
like going into Call of Duty, paying money for Call of Duty, going in, and then finding a cosmetic pack and going, I can rent this pack for 7 days and play with it.
Right.
I'm good. I'm totally gonna do that.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
no.
could run the DTR for a week for $10. Hell yeah.
Yeah, talk about pay to win.
Yeah, no shit. I do like it
What?
though. Like it makes sense. If from my understanding of the game, which is very minimal but enough for me to kind of understand part of the grind, is that if you get a higher level plane or tank or something that is pretty unbeatable and you're not able to get there naturally, you can rent that vehicle for however long to work on your progress to get there. So that way, when at the end of the 7 day rent period, you have a tank at that level. It may not be that tank, but it may be a tank or a plane that's similar to that because they're separated by battle rating. So if you want to get up to that higher BR level, then you can rent something to help you grind out some vehicles to get there, and then you're there.
Yeah. It's it's an awesome game. I dislike how much you have to grind for it, and I dislike how much they push the pay to win aspect. But as far as them building a really fun game, they nailed it. They made a really fun game. I
Yeah,
just wish it was a little bit less of the whole like, buy our tokens for the game. That way you can have your crew for the tank get trained faster, or you can get
yep,
faster upgrades, or
yep,
like you were saying, you can extend all the way to a vehicle that would take you normally 2 weeks to earn, but you can get it today and use it
yeah,
today.
yeah.
Um,
Which I think is smart
it,
because if you're making your free to play game really grindy, then people are going to want to get that grind faster. If they want to fly an F-14 or whatever, they either have to go buy the F-14 or they have to grind all the way up there. And what's easier? Not only that, but let's say you rent the vehicle, but what's faster than just renting the vehicle and grinding is by buying premium, which
yeah.
doubles the amount of research points you get, which you also have to pay money for, which is like $100 a year or something like that. So, but the one thing I
It's
like about the game, which I think that they're really smart about, is that every transaction is done by their in-game currency, Golden Eagles. So you buy premium with Golden Eagles. You can buy premium in time slots. You can buy it in 1 day, 7 days, whatever, right? You can buy it up to a year, and it'll be roughly like $70 or $100 a year. But right now, they're doing a 50% sale. You can go in and buy
Yeah, I
your
saw
Golden
that.
Eagles and buy a year for premium for half the price. So you buy 6 months of pay 6 months worth of premium and get a year of
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
Not to hark back to like the camos or anything, but I think it kind of ties into what we're talking about. I will say when you when you start putting price tags over things that you could grind for versus just buy instantly and use, there is a certain satisfaction that you get once you do unlock that item after you've grinded for it. It feels
yeah,
really rewarding. And there's been a lot of times in video games where I've paid for a cosmetic pack, where I paid for a certain pack for something, and maybe I didn't realize what I was buying. Maybe I didn't realize how it was gonna be featured in the game, and I thought it like had like a different idea of it, or maybe it just was lackluster and I didn't really enjoy it. And there's been several times where I put money into video games, not realize that what I bought wasn't what I wanted, and then never touch that item again. And
yeah,
so while I do think that for a game that is like War Thunder, where it could take you months upon months upon months to get to a place that you want to be, it is nice to have a paid option. But I think the negative consequence of that is that you end up having a player base that may buy what they want and get it instantly, but then lose interest in it because they didn't grind for it, they didn't work
yeah.
for it. They just bought it, played it for
Instant
a few days.
satisfaction, and then they're like, okay, I got what I needed. There's no desire to come back. Like you said, they kind of lose that desire
Yeah.
to play.
The one thing I will say that has War Thunder has going for it is that they made a fun game. If the
Yeah,
game wasn't so fun, they would probably be in a really, really bad position
yeah,
financially, just in general. But they made a really fun game, so that goes for them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I see both that aspects. I see
yeah.
that the paid to win aspect is really important, especially with how big the game is in a sense, with unlocking things and how long it could take. But I also think that that incites what we just talked about, or it inspire not inspires. What's the right word? It people tend
Motivates.
to, yeah, it motivates people to go, okay, well, I got this item. I played with it here and there. It was kind of fun. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna go play another game.
Yeah,
Whereas,
demotivates. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
yeah, whereas if you had sat there and grinded for weeks to get that thing and you finally got it, you're probably going to spend a good little bit of time with it because of how
yeah,
long it took you to actually earn it.
yeah. That's the other thing too. Is how much time it takes you to get there is increases the gratitude and the satisfaction you have when you get it, and will drive you to spend more time with it. Like you said, on the backside of it, be like, this is what I spent my last week grinding out. Now I have what I want. Now I get to play with it. And yeah, maybe you
Yeah.
do lose some interest in it after a while because then you're like, all right, I've got it, I've had it. What's on to the next thing? But it keeps that challenge alive. You're like, all right, I hit this thing. Next is this. Next is this.
Yeah.
Next is this.
I
Instead of
also
just being
think
like, buy, 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 buy. Okay, and I've got it all. Now what do I do? I'll play another game.
another thing that goes into that too is like, a lot of the things that you'd want to buy are some of the more intricate vehicles that you actually need to spend a lot of time and learn.
Yeah.
And if you go through the ranks of like each vehicle up until that point, you start to learn each vehicle. You learn their weaknesses, you learn their pros, you learn how the vehicle operates, you learn what you need to do. If it has a new type of upgrade system in it, you then get taught and learn how to use that upgrade. You go from a, let's say, a World War I tank that's just all analog to an M1 Abrams.
Yep.
You're gonna be so fucking lost. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be going from something that's just pure mechanical, and I'm not just trying to like talk about it in like a basic term. Like you're going something in the game that's very basic. It has little functionality controls. It's just point and shoot to
Yep.
something where you have computer systems that can lock on. You have smoke deployments that you can
Yep.
shoot
And
out.
you're not going to know
You
how to
have
operate any of them. You're going to be like a dead duck.
exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that's how it is like with the planes too, because you have rockets and lasers and laser guided bombs and all that shit.
Yeah.
Versus the World War II plane, you're just like near drop bomb, take off, go fly away. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, absolutely.
So while I do respect both aspects, I do like that on the grinding path. If you were to take that, you have more of you're learning things more and you're understanding what you're using more.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just go ahead and buy it, you're kind of like just fucking. You're like a Neanderthal in a cockpit of a 747.
Right.
You don't know where to begin. So um, I don't know. The game's really fun. We're still going through it. I do definitely think it's going to be a game that we continue to play.
Yeah.
Will I sit here and buy a helicopter? Probably fucking not. Am I going to sit here and pay for a battle pass on that game? Probably not. Because I have a feeling that even if you do pay for a battle pass on that game, the grinding is still going to be intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that's what I heard too, which is a buddy of mine told me about the battle pass, and he's like, just leave it, grind it out, don't buy it, and then if you find out like halfway through it, you're like, oh, I'm at level 40 or 50 or whatever, then pay for the battle pass because you'll get all the premium stuff that you've already hit all in one go. So
just think. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just think that's exactly what the marketing department over at War Thunder wants people to say. Don't buy the battle pass. Yeah, don't buy. That's exactly what they want people to be saying about their game.
Yep,
Fucking first thing this guy says, you don't buy the battle pass.
don't
Like
buy it.
if
'Cause-
that already right,
yeah,
it
I
just
mean,
shows you how grindy it is.
right, exactly, and that's the exact reason of why you save your money until the end, which is what like you and I have done for Call of Duty before.
Yeah.
Like we'll wait until we're done with a certain point in the
Oh
battle pass and be
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, all right, now I'm going to spend some money on it or whatever, like whatever game it is. If it comes naturally and you're playing it enough and you're like, all right, I'm at a certain point in this battle pass where I could buy it and get half of it or 2/3 of it because I'm that far into it and maybe I'll finish it versus buying it playing it and maybe getting a quarter of the way in, and then you've wasted your money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I think spending any money, let's be honest, whether it's pay to win or cosmetics, spending any money on any of that shit is kind of like not the best decision. Even if you had the money to do it, it's like it's a video game.
Right.
The lifespan of most of these video games are 2 years, and if you think that your cosmetics and all the stuff that you paid to win for is going to carry over into V2 of that game,
Yeah.
you're sadly mistaken.
Wrong. Yep.
They're going to make you pay for it again, and probably double you the charge.
Yep.
Time. So,
or they'll be like, here's a throwback cosmetics, and it's shit you've already owned in the last game, and it's like, now I got to pay for it again.
Or a reskin, something.
Right.
Just,
oh my god, Call of Duty does that shit all the time. Don't get me started on those motherfuckers again.
All the time. Actually, there's another thing. I was, God, not, yeah, it was like trickle right back into COD. I was gonna say not to get too deep into it, but for some of the promotional items, are bringing back the Little Caesars.
Okay.
So if you order Little Caesars, you can get some cosmetics in there, and the Monster Energy drink cans are gonna be coming back. And if you buy, I think it's 3, it could be 4, and technically you could buy one of the, you could buy one of those 4-packs and get all of them. But they're offering 3 different operator skins for Monster Energy drink cans. All you have to do is buy 3 or 4, and for you, that's going to be easy. It's going to be one night. Yeah, you're going to be going through
them. 100%.
So you'll probably have those skins for sure.
Hopefully, we'll see. I'm definitely going to try.
Save your receipts.
Sure. Yeah, right. I'm definitely going to try my hardest to get those, because I like when they do those promotional stuff, because then it's just like stuff that I know I'm already going to enjoy, like when Halo does it with like Mountain Dew. I think Call of Duty has done it with Mountain Dew before too, so stuff like that. Yeah.
I tried, and if you were playing, I would have gotten you that blue Monster Energy drink skin that they released for free like a few months ago.
Dang.
I should have logged into your account. I need your password.
Yeah.
And your social security number. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. It's 589. Just kidding. Losers. Cool. Well, all right. So COD's coming out this weekend.
Yep.
War Thunder. We're gonna be grinding that shit. So for all of our viewers, check out our links down below at our Discord. You'll get notifications when Kai and I go live. I'll also link our Twitch down below, which is where we'll be streaming a majority of the time. So you'll see us this weekend grinding out Black Ops 6, grinding out War Thunder.
Probably both. We'll switch it up to
probably both. So yeah, just feel free to pop into our streams and say hey, ask us questions and whatnot. So also big point. I think we kind of touched on this, but Black Ops 6. I wrote Black Ops 76 on our script because I was thinking of Fallout 76. Black Ops 6.
With the way those games are coming out, it's not going to be long before we get Black Ops 76.
Yeah, right. Black Ops 6 will be available day 1 on Game Pass. So if you are a Game Pass subscriber, go get your Black Ops game for free. Download it immediately.
I think you have to be an Ultimate subscriber if you want to play it day 1. If you're a Game Pass Core subscriber or like the second tier, I think you get to play it. You might be able to get to play it on. I forget. I know that they have limitations for the tiers now for Game Pass.
Okay.
And so if you want to get like day 1 access to like the AAA titles, you have to be an Ultimate subscriber.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Speaking of Ultimate, my free Xbox Ultimate subscription runs out next month. That's been
really?
It's been 2 years since I bought my Series X that came with the Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah. So now I got to resubscribe to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You could have
actually. I think it's been 3 years because I was
gonna say I think it's actually been 3 years. I was like, there's no way it's been 2.
Yeah, I think it's been 3 years because I bought it when I was in San Antonio.
For instance, you got married 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been 3 then. Maybe I've already been subscribed.
Check your bank statement. Are you getting?
Whatever.
Well, you should be getting. I mean, it would say $19.99 a month for Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Don't even know. You don't know what charges.
Yeah, if anyone stole my credit card information, I wouldn't know. They'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my God. I think you would know when the bank's calling you, going, "You have a $10,000 charge for 5 different fees."
Potentially, yeah.
Then you go, "Oh shit! Now I know."
They'll be like, "Oh, okay. Well, fuck. Now I got to fix that." So
Then they call you and they go, also your social security's been compromised because you
Yeah.
decided to put it out on camera.
Yeah. One number at a time. Every episode is another number.
Some fucking dude out there is just like waiting. He's
Yeah.
waiting.
That means he's got to watch our episode every week to get my fucking social security number.
He gets to the last two numbers. He just starts guessing at a certain point. He's like, fuck it.
Potentially, yeah. Oh
Jesus.
man. All right. Other gaming news. We watched the Halo Championship Series. Well, I mean, I watched it. We said we were gonna stream it, but we didn't do that. Because I'm a fucking big nosed liar.
You're good, man. It happens.
But I watched the Championship Series. I watched Spacestation Gaming win their first championship. They beat in the upper bracket. They beat FaZe in the semifinals, and then
I was gonna say if you have it pulled up, share your screen.
I do, but it's pretty tiny. So
okay.
I'll post a screenshot over this portion of the podcast so we can all see it together. But
Almost hit you with a "that's what she said" joke.
So Space Station Gaming took out FaZe, and then they took out Optic in the upper bracket final, and then FaZe and Optic had to play each other in the lower bracket. Optic beat FaZe, so they had to go back to the grand final against Space Station, and they lost that against Space Station again. So Space Station just clean sweeped the top three dogs there, really solidified themselves as a competitor in the Halo series.
Didn't Optic play like crap that game? Like, didn't they?
No, they played pretty good. They played pretty
did?
good. They played pretty well. I thought they were going to do it. I was watching them play, and them and FaZe kind of surprised me when they played for that lower bracket. I honestly thought FaZe was going to do it and beat out Optic for the grand final appearance, but the way Optic has just flew through the upper bracket, and then Space Station Gaming just I didn't see it coming, but I'm not surprised with the talent on that team.
I mean, let's be honest. You can only have a win streak for so long.
True.
And you know, if all of your wins are broadcasted on the internet, I bet if you're a competitive team, like a serious competitive team, you're probably analyzing those videos and watching their gameplay style and getting down their strategy and then working your own strategy around that.
1,000,000% for sure.
So,
and that's actually what a good team will do is they'll analyze their opponents' matches, but it's also like extremely, my opinion, extremely difficult to memorize every single person's potential play, because you play against so many teams in a tournament. So you have to memorize every team, every player, every potential play on every map that you could play on. That's a lot of information to take. And if that's all you're doing for those guys, then of course it makes sense. But for the common player, it doesn't make sense at all. And when like I wouldn't have understood it until I got my first taste of competitive Halo gameplay, which really opened my eyes of like what these guys go through. And it was intense because there's a lot of information. There's a lot of concise information that you need to portray to your team quickly, so that way everyone's on the same page about callouts, weapons, power-ups, all this stuff throughout the map. Objectives, respawns, those are huge. Knowing your respawns are huge. It's just a lot of information that goes into winning one game, and you have to win 3 games in one match. So you could go, it could be a best of 5 series. You could go to game 5, which is what a lot of these bracket games did. They went 3-0, or excuse me, they went 3-2 or 3-1, so they made it to game 4, game 5. And that takes a lot because it's mentally draining. You're physically exhausted because you're actually like tensed up. You're actually like sweating. It's intense.
Well, then you have to, if you think about it too, like, I mean, there's so much more. Like, you have to acclimate to each team. So, you may fly through one team, but then you'll want to carry over that same energy of like, we just fucked them up, we're unstoppable. When the next team, you should probably be hesitant, be a little bit more reserved and humble, see how they play, and then adjust your things accordingly. And if you've, done what we were talking about, like analyzing their strategy options and like how they play the game, then you can apply those too. But it's quite insane how when we played this game as a kid, it was very simplistic. We just load into a multiplayer match. We go in, get some kills, hopefully win. If not, we lost another one. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's insane to see these people that, I mean, we didn't play with them, but essentially they're our age. They're in our age range. They grew up playing these games as well. How they've taken that and turned it into the insane multi-level strategy game that they turned it that they
Yeah.
turn these multiplayer matches into. I mean, my brain thinks, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at Halo until I go and I watch these guys play. It is a whole nother level of understanding, and the teamwork and communication that you have, map understanding, spawn
Yeah.
placement understanding about your enemy team, it really goes to show you that they are on a completely different level of gaming than a lot of other people in the esports world. Especially, I would say first person shooters, especially since your reaction time and everything has to be so on point. It's like they're playing 4-dimensional chess while we're
Yep.
basically just watching. To us it's like a game of checkers, but to them it's 4-dimensional chess is the
Yeah.
best way to put it.
You're absolutely right. That makes perfect sense, and it's very impressive watching them play, especially when
Oh
you can
yeah,
listen in on their comms because you're like, what are these guys saying? It doesn't even sound like
yeah.
they're speaking a real language, and they're
Yeah,
because they're
well,
only using one or two words at a time.
and they're so quick with it too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
It's
you
it's
know,
it's intense for sure. But that was a good series to watch. We should have live streamed that. I pissed
it's
myself
all
off for
good.
not doing that. But that was a
Hey,
really good series to watch.
they'll have more gaming events coming up. I think there's actually I don't know if you'd want to live stream, of course. You'd have to have the time and stuff and find out if you could do it. But there might be another game developers conference or something coming up that we could live stream. It's not a
Yeah. Okay.
tournament or anything, but we could, might be able to do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what that is. So. All
Oh,
right.
today.
Oh, go ahead.
I just realized I noticed that we had the Fallout tab, and there wasn't really anything under it. Today is National Fallout Day.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You mean October 23rd or October 25th?
23rd.
Okay. Because we're recording on the 23rd. We're dropping it on the 25th. So, yeah. Okay. October
Yeah.
23rd. National Fallout Day. Interesting.
October 23rd at 3 p.m. Join the developers of 76 for a preview of all the exciting updates. Yep, October 23rd is officially National Fallout Day. I wonder if it's the day the bombs fell.
Interesting. I don't know.
In Fallout lore, Fallout Day is today, October 23rd, because in Fallout lore, the Great War started and ended on October 23rd, 2077. Look at that.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So we're 53 years in the past or in the future or whatever before the Great War.
Are we?
Yeah. 2077, that's 53 years from
Oh,
now.
oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
My bad. I got it all confused.
Sorry, math is hard. I get it too. Cool, that's cool. National Fallout Day. I like the little
Yeah,
dude with the thumb.
the Vault Boy.
Yeah.
Let me see. This guy right here. See if I can keep the little Rockstar logo I have on here attached. Well,
Oh, nope, there it
I
goes.
couldn't, and it fell on my mouse. Boing.
That's pretty cool.
I'm surprised you don't have one of these.
I have the Pip-Boy from Fallout 4.
Do you have it on display?
It's in the other room.
Oh.
Yeah. I had to
Well,
hide
still
it
though.
from little touchy kids.
Oh. You had kids over your house?
A couple months ago, I had some friends over, and the kid was like, I want to play their Pip-Boy. And I was like, absolutely not.
And they haven't been back over since.
Ah. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, not about the kid, but they have been over since. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So, yeah. That was a stressful moment when I was like, I can show you, and they were like, can I put it on? And I was like, no.
Yeah, right.
I paid $200 or $400. I don't even remember how much I bought. I bought it on eBay from a guy in Paris when the game released.
Yeah, I have my own opinions about that, especially knowing how cheap you can get that special edition now.
I don't want to talk about it now, okay? I don't want to talk about it right now. It's expensive in my heart, and that's all that matters.
I think I saw one up the other day for like 150, 125.
Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about it. I paid a lot of money for that.
Hey, you got it, and it's yours, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, you're goddamn right it is.
It's sentimental value,
Yeah.
even though your phone doesn't fit.
Why do you make me feel that one again too? Yeah, I have a monster fucking phone, dude. Look at this thing.
That's pretty cool, though.
I like this phone. Folds.
If Apple ever makes a phone like that, I'd get that.
It's a good phone. It's a good phone. I like it.
You gonna be one of those Android users trying to convince me to switch over?
No, you're too hard headed. I don't think I can convince you.
Yeah, it's not really my thing.
Yeah. What are you doing over there? You rubbing your dick or what?
I was cleaning my phone. I know I was rubbing the screen on the lap so I could show it. That way I didn't have like 15,000 calories on my screen.
Yeah, just look over and you're just going. You look like fucking oils. Hitler tweaking out. You're like.
Have you seen footage that I haven't seen?
You've never seen it? You've never seen him when he was like sitting in a crowd? He was like high on something and he's like tweaking out.
Amphetamines.
Yeah,
he was not, no.
Yeah, there's a video of him where he's like
I've heard an audio recording of him talking on a train where he's not like talking like he would in his speeches, and he's very, very like just like yes. I know you.
What is that? What is it like?
I don't know what the fuck he was saying. I just know he was very quiet and very not the way he was when he's speaking at the stand or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know.
Formal. The altar? What is he, a fucking priest now? He's like,
I mean,
do you take this woman to be a wife? Yeah. 9!
He's a pastor now?
Yeah, right.
A minister?
At the altar, yeah. He's gonna what do they call it? When ordain a marriage? He's a marriage ordainer, whatever the fuck they call that. Yeah. Dude was weird.
No shit, he was weird, and we're Hitler we're talking about here. That's putting it lightly. The guy was weird. That's
was weird.
You got a neighbor and you don't want to start shit with them, so you just say something nice. You're like, he's just kind of weird guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Thank you. That's kind of what I was going for. He's just a little weird.
Oh my God.
Just a little weird. You take out the whole like mass genocide stuff. Yeah, he's a little weird.
He's definitely a little weird. Speaking of which, your minister at your wedding, if he would have shaved 2 sides of his mustache, he could have looked a little bit like him.
You think?
Joe?
I don't think so.
If he had his hair slicked to the side and had it all black, and he did the.
I think everyone can if they just.
No, not you. Look at you. You're all blonde.
I can dye it. Why are we talking about my stash and being a Hitler stash?
I don't know. This podcast went off the rails.
I was about to say, I don't know where this went.
Right.
This is where we're going to lose a bunch of viewers here. All right.
We're either going to lose a shit ton or we're going to gain a shit ton.
I have a feeling we're going to lose some at that derailment. All right.
We'll probably
bring it back. Hitler's weird. Whatever.
We can edit this out.
I'm not going to edit that out. That's good content.
Okay. I'll keep it in.
Yeah.
I don't care. Cancel culture's going away.
Yeah, right. We can't get canceled. He was a real man. He was a real person anyways. I'm just stating an opinion. Free speech. Suck my dick.
That he was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not condoning his actions. Wait. Yeah, right? Condone? Or do I condone?
I think you would condone his actions.
You think? I don't agree with him. I don't agree with what he did. I think it was dumb. He's a little weird.
Looks like we're getting canceled in our second episode.
Oh, we might actually, we might actually get canceled now. I'm not sure.
That's all good. We're just shooting the shit.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on. I found out today too that the Coast Guard Gaming Halo team might be playing some scrims against the USMC Gaming in the near future, I should say. So keep an eye on that.
You gonna get in on that?
If they pull the team together, I might put my name in the hat, but I'm not sure. And I'm still waiting on news for the Air Force Apex tournament that's supposed to happen like next week. But I think they're gonna do.
Oh, there's no news.
They haven't said anything for 3 weeks on it. So I don't know if it's still a thing or
weird.
not. Yeah. But it's supposed to be a random squad. So everyone signs up solo and then they all just get put in squads randomly, which I like, but I also don't like. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
You kind of want to know who you play with.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you can riff off each other, know if they're a better match for you or not.
Yeah. Which I can see how that works, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll
You're
keep that in mind. I'll send out announcements or whatever when I hear about those two things.
You can be a really aggressive like gamer in multiplayer games. And so it would be hilarious if they paired you with someone who was more aggressive than you. That you're like, no, man, we should probably wait back. And he's like,
There's no way. I'd be the alpha dog of the team. I'd have to be.
I'll be the alpha dog.
I'd have to be.
They're like, Zach, well, you went 1-17, but I was the alpha dog.
But I was the alpha dog. Thank you. That's all that matters. But I'm the team leader. Dominance. Yeah, I'm the team leader. Everybody listen to me. That's what matters. Yeah, we took last place, but everybody listen to me. It's my team. Yeah. Yeah.
Alpha dog doesn't mean number one, just means alpha dog.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's funny. Yeah, so if that happens, I'll have to send out announcements so everyone can see that.
Or you'll get the opposite. You'll get someone who just wants to stay basically by the spawn point the entire time. You're just screaming at them.
I'll be like, move! What are you doing?
I hope you get into this now because I really want to see this.
Oh yeah. Just be aggressive right off the rip roar.
Yeah.
Like, hey everybody, I'm Medic Logfrog. I'm in charge of this team. Y'all are gonna listen to me. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Welcome to the team. Let's get a fucking win. Let's go.
You just show up, and the second thing you say is, "I'm running this team."
They're gonna be like, all right, everybody, what's your name? And I'll be like, I'm Medic Logfrog. This is my fucking team.
The guy that actually
my way or the highway.
Yeah. The guy that actually set up this event is like talking, and you step over him and cut him off, and you're like, "I'm running this team."
Yeah. I'll be, all right, listen up, everybody. This is what's gonna happen in this tournament here. The guys who's organized it, they gave me the thumbs up to take over, so I'm just gonna tell them to shut up now. You go ahead and listen to me. Here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it doesn't Sully run your little group in iRacing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
You already do that to Sully half the time.
I mean, yeah, but whatever. I'm practicing.
I mean,
I'm practicing. I got to get my reps up. You know, like now I know I've practiced the last 25 weeks of iRacing with him. Now I'm confident to do it with a stranger.
What's amazing is he'll be like, "You should have practiced yesterday," and then you'll go and win like the next 3 races.
That's exactly what I just did tonight. I won my race tonight, never having turned a lap before the race started.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then Sully's going to watch this and he's going to be like, well, it's your fucking fault, blah, blah, blah. Well, you spun me out, Sully. He took me out. He took me out.
I love this podcast is amazing so far. I love this. This one's a great one.
This is good.
Really sitting on some good content.
This is really good. Yeah. Oh my god. Well, speaking of great content, that's all I have for tonight. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I added that. This is, I guess. I'll throw it in there. Real quick. I was on social media perusing, and I got an ad about perusing, and I got an ad about what is it called? A claims law? What is it? A lawsuit claim or whatever they called?
Class action.
Class action lawsuit against Ubisoft.
Ooh.
If you in the last 2 years had bought a game off of Ubisoft's website, you may be entitled up to $2,000 in compensation.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Too bad I didn't buy anything off their website.
I was looking, dude. I was like, I'm pretty sure I bought everything off the Xbox. Like
yeah,
anything Ubisoft I got was off Xbox. I know. But it had something to do with apparently them sharing your private gaming information with Facebook. So for what I've read about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
But so that's I saw Ubisoft there. I was like, I'll throw that in there. Did you already go over your iRacing stuff, season week of exit?
No, I did not actually. Thank you for reminding me. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, not a problem.
My little dinky little arm over here.
No, you're good.
Dude, working like this, like at work, I can't really write and I can't click the button, so I'm like typing one handed, I'm answering the phone one handed. It's just a pain in the butt. All right, this week
You're good,
is
bro.
iRacing week 7 of 14. Week 7 of 14. I don't think we have a special event planned in iRacing, but I will check.
I just saw it on there, and I figured I'd ask you about it before we skipped over it. It was something
Yeah.
that you might have wanted to talk about.
Well, that's just the one thing that I like to bring up is the events, which I don't think we have an event scheduled this week. Let's see. No,
Isn't Sully out of town this week?
Sully goes out of town next Tuesday.
Okay.
So, yeah, no planned iRacing events until November 3rd, which is the FF 1600 festival, they called it. So,
Okay.
we'll see. But then there's only a couple more events after that. Um, all the way up to December, or like late November, I should say. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn, I can't stop yawning. There's 4 events in November, which I'll post about, and there's another event in December, and then the special events calendar flips over in January, so I
Okay.
can send that all out when it gets released.
Yeah.
But week 7 of 14, no major event this week.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Uh, yeah, not a problem. Let me see here real quick. I want to make sure that this is actually something going on, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I just don't want to give people false information. Okay. Yep. All right. So it is happening. All right. So the first thing that I had written towards the end of the podcast was that Netflix. I think it was like last year, or 2 years ago. Netflix had announced that they were going to be entering the gaming space. That way, they could make video games that coincided with their TV shows and movies, and the different rights that they are acquiring as far as video games at the time. I know that they've acquired the rights to make a Gears of War series slash movie.
Okay.
They've acquired a few rights on some other things, and obviously, with them acquiring these rights and them being in the streaming space or the digital landscape, they've wanted to kind of break into the video game market. Um, and so it was announced a few years ago that they're entering it. Well, we haven't really heard much. There's been a few rumblings about what they could have been cooking. Supposedly something that would have tied into Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon films. That's like pretty much the only thing that I heard. And then the Gears of War thing. It has now been announced that the studio that was working with Netflix as their AAA gaming studio, has officially been shut down. So looks like Netflix gaming is not turning out the way that they wanted it to be, and I
Interesting.
don't even think they've released a game. They might have done like mobile games and stuff, but I don't think they've released anything official for PC or console.
Interesting.
And so that's interesting that they, entered the space, had a whole bunch of rumblings, and then time goes by, no one hears anything, and it's getting shut down. I found that kind of interesting. Um, Next thing that I had heard was there's supposedly a new Marvel game in development, which I kind of expected. It's a huge IP slash franchise. They have a lot of money. I'm surprised there's not more Marvel games in development, honestly, especially with the way um, their current phase of Marvel projects has been turning out. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine was really good, but I think if they wanted to really start to make some of the money that they're starving to make off of the movies and the shows that aren't performing very well, that maybe they should get into the video game land space. I think they've only released two real official games, which would be the Avengers game that they released, which had a horrible reception. People did not like it. I'm sure there was a small fan base that really enjoyed it, but for the most part, it got heavily trashed on. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which actually had the opposite. It was really beloved. People talked about how good of a game it was and how fun it was. I actually still have yet to go through and do a playthrough of it. I need to do that. But yeah, so we got a new Marvel game in development. Hopefully that it is really good. Um, Kind of remembered, and I wonder if we should go over it. That under the Halo Infinite section, that Halo has been rebranded.
Yeah, it's Halo
Halo
Studios now, right?
Halo Studios. It essentially is still 343. They just have hired on a lot more people. It sounds like, and just completely rebranded. So
maybe a rebranding is exactly what they needed after a
it's
shitty Halo Infinite launch.
I don't
I don't
think
want to say shitty, but
it wasn't great.
underperformed. Underperformed.
There was a lot of, and honestly, this episode's already probably going on too long. We can save some of this for next week. But if you look into the development cycle of Halo and how they went about handling it, it was one of the weirdest slash poorest decisions I think that Microsoft has ever made for one of their video games. I mean, first of all, they hired contractors. Who does that for a video for as a development studio? Who hires contractors on 6 to 12 months basis to come and work on a game, and then them leave, and then you hire another batch of contractors to come in who've never have worked with this game engine before or worked on this game before to now come in and pick up the pieces of where those previous contractors left off. Stuff like that was not a fan of. I'm not too happy to hear about that. Also, the fact that the Slip Space engine that they touted was a brand new engine for Halo Infinite and that they built it from the ground up, all this stuff. Apparently, I don't want to say it was a lie, but it's coming out that apparently the Slip Space engine was a major retooling of the original Halo engine that had been the engine for the
Interesting.
like every Halo game since the first one. Um, so
So it wasn't an original engine. They just kind of tweaked the old one a lot.
Well, they tweaked it a lot to almost to the point to where it looked like a brand new engine. But now the rumblings are coming out. Now that time has passed ever since the game's been released, and we're starting to learn the real details and the truth about this game. Yeah, it was a retooling of the original Halo engine, which kind of, as a Halo fan, it pisses me off, and I maybe that's too far, but it upsets me as a Halo fan, and also, I guess, kind of a Microsoft fan that they would lie to us like that. Now, granted, it's a corporation; they're going to lie no matter what. It shouldn't be nothing surprising. But when you spent the time on this game that you did, and then you're touting that everything is brand new, including the engine, and then it comes out that it's not, yeah, it doesn't make the fans, including myself, sit very well. Now, them moving to Unreal, that
That's going to be
is
exciting.
yes,
I think it's going to look a whole new Halo game.
Oh yeah. You've seen the concept that they've done for it, right?
Yeah, I saw it when they released.
It looks incredible.
I agree. And then the fact that they released all this information during the Halo Championship Series was pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot. Actually, what's funny about that is I had followed a lot of content creators who aren't necessarily big into the gaming space. They're kind of like normies or like just normal people.
Yeah. Normies.
They were really that's what they're kind of called. They were really surprised that this news came out on a random Sunday. A lot of people were like, "What's so special about today that they are announcing this rebranding?" And if you were a gamer and you're in like the esports area, you'd realize that that was the HCS weekend, and so it was a pretty big Halo event. Makes sense, but yeah, a lot of people. It took a lot of people by surprise. A lot of normal people who are not like maybe they're gamers, but they've only played Halo a couple times, or they play it through family members and stuff like that. They were kind of like, wow, this is out of left field, but a lot of people are down for it. I think Halo needs something fresh. I think it needs something new, and I think moving to a new game engine that a lot of people in the video game industry have experience working on. So they can hire a whole new batch of devs to come in that have all worked on Unreal Engine 5 and 4 before, and they're going to know how that engine works. They're going to know how all those tools work, and they can go in and make a, a gorgeous game that works phenomenally. I think that's really, really, really good. I think the partnership that they're doing with Epic Games to get Unreal is really. I think all of it is just I'm very. It's I last time I was excited for Halo was probably Infinite, and then it let us down pretty quickly. And so I would say the last time I was excited for a Halo game was about 4 years ago with Halo Infinite, and haven't really been that excited since then. But this news has got me excited.
Yeah,
I'm very, very intrigued. I hope. I don't know if it's real or not, but that rumor about a remake of 1, 2, and 3 all into one single game, that kind of sounds pretty cool.
That's gonna be fun.
If that's real, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. As far as other things, I don't think there's much else to go over. I think that's it on my end.
Yeah, I don't have anything on my end either.
Okay, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, we can save that for next week. Halo Studios.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll go into more in depth on the Halo Studios next week.
There's a lot of stuff to go over.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, All right, everybody. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching this far in the podcast. We've got some stuff we're going to go over next week. Our traditional or usual things. Along with, at that point, let's see, we'll have Black Ops 6 will be released. So we'll kind of give a little bit of a touch base on that. I say a little, but it's probably going to be a big in-depth discussion.
Yeah.
We'll go into Halo Studios in depth. And then those are two pretty big topics. So we'll see. But yeah, so thanks for checking in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like I said earlier in the podcast, we're going to have our Discord link down below so you can join the Discord, hang out with us during the week, watch us. Oh, excuse me. Watch us record this podcast live, chill in the audience and hang out. I'm also going to post our Twitch links down below so you can see us live when we're streaming on Twitch.
Yep.
And then that's all I got.
I mean, we don't really have any questions, but we do have one comment. Do you
What's the
want to go over it
comment?
real
Yeah,
quick?
what's the comment? It's from
Mr.
your boy.
Mutters,
It's from
Mr.
your boy.
Mutters,
Tell your boy
Mr.
to calm
Mutters-
down.
my boss, Mr. Mutters 108 said, "I thought you said you'd be back next week. Where are you at? It's been 2 weeks."
You know, I haven't seen this guy online in 3 weeks, so I don't want to hear it from his ass. All right?
See if he's online.
He's not. I'm literally looking
not.
at his name on Discord right now. It's a great circle.
I guarantee you, if you messaged him right now, he'd pop up.
See.
Oh, I guarantee you he'll pop up.
I'm going to say, what you doing right now?
She'll say, "What you doing, homegirl?"
All right. I messaged you. I said, why? I said, WYDRN, question mark. Nothing.
Yeah, he hasn't popped up now. One time I'm like, he'll for sure do it. He doesn't do it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks
right.
for checking out the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate the support. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, ask some questions, give us some feedback, good or bad. Just give us a heads up what you guys think y'all like and what you don't like. If there's any topics y'all want us to go over during a podcast, hit us up with those too.
We're
but
reading
we'll be
comments,
here.
even if it's one. We're reading comments.
Yeah, when we just proved that tonight. We're reading the comments. So good, bad, or otherwise, we'll be reading the comments. So feel free to come hang out with us. Drop us your suggestions, and that's it. That's all I got.
Zach, where can they catch you at?
They can catch me outside. How about that? No. Twitch.tv/mediclogfrog. How about you, Kai? Drop your Twitch.
Mine would be twitch.com/ or twitch.tv / Malachi the Prophet, the way it's spelled on here.
Nice.
Same thing with Twitter or X, Instagram, and you can catch me on Xbox at Hardcore Pelican. Same thing with Zach. I'm pretty sure he goes by Mediclogfrog on both Instagram and Twitter, all the social media platforms, and you can catch him on Xbox at Hardcore Buzzman.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming to hang out. We'll catch you all
thank you so much.
chilling in the next level, my guys.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Peace.